Whew. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, patch 5.5. I am very excited. Oh man, I'm definitely a little bit more excited for this patch than 5.4. And that's weird because I played 5.4 right when I got out of the hospital with COVID. But there's a lot of hype around this patch. First things first, it is Monday, it is Tuesday, patch day. It is 8:42 in the morning. I took today off specifically to do this patch, as well as a lot of other stuff later. Of course, Jess and Kevin, Team Wayfinder, will be in full effect come the near raids and Diamond Weapon. We'll wait to see that. I will be doing that on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Alamorn. So please come check it out if you have the time. But enough about what we're doing later. Let's talk about what we're doing right now. Main scenario. My pride and joy. Right here. Little brother Alphino and Alize. Little brother, sister. Okay. Enough stalling. Let's get into it. Unto the breach. Alize is waiting patiently for the return of certain Scions, not least of all, you. Alphino looks a little concerned in that picture. Good news, Lla. Thancred and Urianger have finished their tour of Garlemald, and they're on their way back even as we speak. As we still haven't anything on the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? I did all of Genshin Impact yesterday in character, so I guess that kind of just carried over. Ah, welcoming party. You needn't have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as it is. I wasn't expecting to see you guys till 6.0. Did we see them in the trailer? I can't remember. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering, as it is. I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolation, I myself was little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alize, Graha, and Lla. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we are proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. Also, you guys are going to have to deal with my terrible, terrible British accent. As you will also have heard, though it hasn't all been tales of triumph, just as we were taking steps towards finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed on our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back, though I can't help noticing that we're one Urianger short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, I couldn't lose him if I tried, and I did try, repeatedly. But no, he decided to linger in Alamigo to apprise Roban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us. Indeed. It was just as Lee said. Worse, in fact. Devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and the third, I thought those were 3 L's, however, were notable by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hands of Xenos and Fandaniel? Perhaps. Or perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. You see, the capital has been plunged into deathly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians working their day and night to rebuild, or rather, transform it. Transform? Into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Urianger, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised with the manipulation of ether in mind. Magitech, in other words. Yet as unnerving as said edifice was, it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the palace like so many insects, working with nary a word exchanged between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as if they were possessed, or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. If Vandaniel could bring Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove valuable. You have our thanks. Be sure to save some for Urianger, which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Raban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he has requested our presence. Then why not leave that to us? You must be weary from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on my way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking into another matter. As I promised Kryl, we need not all attend. Very well. I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we will have to speak to Urianger before the meeting. We're not going to hear this quest except intro much longer. Jess is up. Have fun. Already started. Hey, Ashilla. If you're curious to know what I will be doing in your absence, let us speak of it another time. At present, Kryl and I have no more than a hypothesis. Working on something sneaky, huh? Alright. Keep your secrets. Off to Alamigo. I've been hearing people talk, and they're right, like, this part of it sort of feels like Stormblood 2. Just because we're all of a sudden gone straight back into Alamigo after have been away from there for a year and a half. Girl, I see you. The Royal Menagerie is still closed to civilians. Vandaniel and his pets certainly left their mark. While we may safely assume that the Telephoroi are behind the works being carried out on the Imperial Palace, we can only guess for their purpose. My friends, much and more have I heard of your travails in our absence. Heartened am I to see you all hale and whole. As are we to see you safely return from your mission, Urianger. I trust Thancred made you feel welcome. Well, if it isn't Alphino and his merry band. Who do we have here? Alvinard? Ehrenwald, right? Ehrenwald! Whatever are you doing here? When we spoke via Link Pearl, you told me you'd be on your way to a mission. And who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you'd have grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. Well, I am sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged. Yes, Alphino, we are all too aware of how little you and Alizo have aged. As you are well aware. And may I remind you that we Elizin are known to be... So here it is! After all this time, we're finally addressing why they haven't grown up. This makes me hopeful that maybe there will be a time skip at the end of Endwalker. Who knows, we'll see. Especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even great orcs such as yourself will crane your neck to meet my eye. Oh god, maybe it will actually happen. Will I get to see my little brother and sister grow up finally? Aye, 'twas not until my 20th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though Moonbreda towered over me nonetheless. So, canonically they're 16 now. That means we'd have to have a time skip of at least 4 years for them to hit their growth spurt. Arenvald brings out the best in Alphino, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company. It's almost endearing. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dola, mostly. We need to go over things before we set out. Ah, damn it! I forgot! I heard they made changes to the summoner quest or something, so if I had actually done my summoner job quest, that may have affected something here. Oh well, it's a little too late to take care of that now. Set out? Wait, does this have something to do with the towers? What gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. You've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? Yeah, definitely better not to try any accents today. If Bordola is going with him, that must mean... My apologies. As Arenvald rightly pointed out, we have to attend. Let us be about it.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale.
Always good to see all these
Much less in times
people.
of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Telephoroi's disposal.
We still don't know... What exactly is a Telephoroi?
But since then we have seen no sign of this Daniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
There's been no sign of this Fandango and his dance.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Emmerich, hi.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Oh, yeah, good to see Elise here.
Once they'd come back to their senses,
After the
they
way it
told
ended
us
in
everything
5.4.
they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar. And that was the last thing they remembered.
Oh. Oh, I've heard things. Some speculation from a while back of what caused the final days in Amarat. It was something akin to some sort of noise that spread throughout the land, if I remembered correctly, that caused everything to go out of whack.
But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked.
To the glory of Garlemald.
Glory be to Garlemald.
Anky face.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Usk sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma.
How is he in? I miss him.
The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
Oh, hello.
What?
It's been a while, Fordula.
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
Oh.
We are glad
Not
to
us.
put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Alphino has like 1 million older brother figures. Alinari included. brother. You're in there somewhere. I accept that numbers can prove a hindrance when infiltrating enemy territory, but to only send 2... Aaron Volks, grab my hand. Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamolva and Vamar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fudola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Eldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat.
I mean, basically, yeah.
And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
Oh, be fucking careful, man. Oh, this feels like setup. Oh, this feels like setup.
With your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Paglth'an?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Paglth'an instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Godspeed,
When all
man.
of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Oh no.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah, me
Though,
too.
To be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a Scion's lot in life. Take care, eh?
God damn it.
It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino, for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this Lunar Bahamut.
Hello?
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me?
Try going outside.
Oh, I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinien.
Good.
And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Oh boy.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
We've got to hunt this motherfucker down.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones.
While you go off on your Dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
Oh, I'm concerned. Oh, I am concerned. I am so concerned. So before we proceed any further, I wanted to state this before I forget it again. Seeing Alphino interact with Ehrenwald reminded me a lot's happened since 5.4. Jess and I have been talking a lot, and I mean a lot, about Allen Ares' backstory. There's a few things that we figured out. Probably the most important thing is, I'll pull it up right now. I just want to make sure I'm not mistaking my character's own name. Is we figured out, obviously, Alamorn isn't Allah's real name. It's not the name he was given at birth. It's his adopted name. Erebus, Eri, that's not his real name either. So we spent a lot of times like, what would their actual name be? So they are Mooncats. And, oh, hey, Kevin. According to Mooncat lore, the sons are given the name of their mother. So we had to figure out what their mother's name was. So after much deliberation, we figured out that their mother's name would be Von Espira. That's Vahnespira. So that would mean Allah being the firstborn, Eri being the secondborn. Allah's name would be Vana Espira, And Ares' name would be Von To Aspira. So that was super important that we figured that out. As well, I figured out a bit more details about Alla's backstory on how he grew up. He grew up in and around Ishgard, in the Dominion of Kurthus. And he was raised by Alberic, aka the Dragoon trainer. When I ran into Alberic again one day when me and Jess were just out running around, I was like, that makes all the sense in the world. So yeah, he was raised by Alberic, which also means he was raised with Estinien. So I thought Estinien was important to me before. He's super important now. Well, it's giving me all the trophies at once. Yeah, me too. Estinien, Amaric, super important, because when Alla became a Temple Knight, and he did become a Temple Knight before becoming a Dragoon. So yeah, that's all super important details that I figured you all should know. Well, let's go on. I get the impression Ehrenwald is a lot more apprehensive than he lets on. He will have been grateful Alphino was there to see him off. I can't see you, my boy. Are you there? There you are. I can kind of see you through the feathers. Estinien Warmblood, the Azure Dragoon. His was another name that featured prominently in the history books, and it will be fascinating to meet the man in the flesh. Oh, look who else it is! Hey! Everyone's here! And they've still got their bunny girl look on. For the time being, Alla's twin is now female, and also Viera. So we'll see how long that one lasts. They were cat girl not too long ago. But yeah, let's go on. Here be dragons. Alphino is keen to track down Estinien. So Estinien was bound for Ishgard. Whatever is it that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there is no time to lose. To Ishgard, shining city on the mount. All present? Good. Let us split up and search for Estinien. Alright, Easter egg hunt for Estinien. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graha and I will look around the open spaces, the squares and markets and whatnot. You and Alla can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well, let us reconvene at the airship later, with or without Estinien. Good luck. I think I shall begin at the Skysteel Manufactory. So perhaps you should try the Congregation? Alicia may well have heard news of our friend's return. Seeing that gun blade there on that person's back reminds me that they made the glamour weapons for that, and they're very pretty. And the Great Knight Sword that I looked at was freaking 5 mil. I've got less than 1 mil now. Alla's definitely the poor twin. Jess and Aerie having 70 mil last time I heard. Estinien? Where are you, bro? You over here? Nothing, huh?
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
God, this is the first time she's gonna meet Estinien. Holy shit.
Speaking
Her
of
and
which, it seemed
Graha.
awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
Not exactly public. Ah, the man himself. There he is.
First the Scion's coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence.
Yeah, no help thanks to you. How you doing, bro?
Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Tell me he's confusing her for Alphino.
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alpha. Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
Oh no!
I am not. If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Oh, had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Oh my god. This is so fucking perfect.
Estinien Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon.
Oh, and Graha's got a
He who fought
fanboy.
and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Oh my god, he's so precious. What the fuck is going on?
What is going on?
Is everything alright? I thought I heard Alizé shouting.
Oh. 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 Oh my god.
Estinien! It's been too long.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again.
Yeah, you might lose some hit points if you do.
What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
Well, there is Estinien be a big brother.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinien as he does Arenvald.
Perhaps he sees them as brothers he never had. I think he learned how to talk with people rather than at them. Well, you can't keep him all to yourself forever. Oh, these are all good choices because this is true. This acknowledges his character development, and this is just cute. Oh, I gotta go with this one.
Keep him to my... You're joking, aren't you? I'd be glad if someone would take him off my hands.
Of course.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azys Lla.
Azys Lla? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azys Lla, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
Yeah.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation?
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azys Lla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing the deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again and I'll throw you overboard.
She'll fucking do it. Doesn't matter how heavy your armor is.
I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt.
I don't know what you've been reading, dude. Oh, now she's pouting. And all is just like, look at my dysfunctional family. Oh god, the character interactions and writing in like the last couple of patches has been so fucking good. God, that was, oh my god. Oh, hey, we're here. Tiamat summoned Bahamut once before. She may have again, willfully or no. So this is the Delta Quadrant, where countless dragons yet lie imprisoned, the great Tiamat among them. Often is one we talk to. Not to complain, but I didn't expect to find myself here again quite so soon. It has been quite some time since last I set foot in Azys Lla, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit. Alas not. We had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant. But I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a more first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Allah is the person to ask. As far as I know, he's only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. She was a prisoner in the Elegant Empire. Let's just say it helped that Midgard Summer was there. Let's just say it helped that Midgard Summer was there to introduce me. And he's not exactly around right now. Ah, yes. You were the friend of her father. I too have met Tiamat? Really? After the Dragon Song War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made of a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. It was the Ascians who taught Tiamat the secrets of summoning, even as they supplied the Allagans with the means to capture primal's. So much suffering, all of it by design. The Azure Dragoon of history were the mortal enemies of dragons, yet now they would be hard-pressed to find a soul who understood them better. Our grandfather sacrificed everything to protect the realm from Bahamut. We must be prepared to do the same. Righteous indignation. Estinien is ready to lead the way to Tiamat. Tiamat awaits. This way. Hey, Tiamat. Long time, huh? So this was one of the 7 great worms. Even thus confined, her presence is overwhelming. Resigned to her fate though she may be, I cannot help but feel that we may be able to help Tiamat, but she only let us. Alice? There you are. To think that man is responsible for all this. So much else that dragonkind has suffered. My sire's mortal companion, what bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man?
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
Oh boy. Alright, Tiamat, you may want to sit down. Weren't there rings around her before? That my sin should be repeated. I sense not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called him forth, I know of none save dragons of Mercidia, our children. The Icon claimed their souls when first he manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools of the Elegant's dark designs.
I've seen it with my own eyes. Captives of a lost empire, neither alive nor dead, existing only to preserve Bahamut's corporeal form.
Back to coils. Yes. The dragons of Mercidia are at the mercy of this Ascian. There can be no other explanation. Accursed Ascians, vile minions of darkness. Again you would profane the memory of my beloved, and strip our children of their freedom, their dignity. Are there no depths to which you will not stoop?
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
Come on. What wouldst thou have me say, Slayer of Dragons?
Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mercidia.
First of her name, protector of the realms of men,
children.
Queen of the Andals. Were I free, I would answer thine insolence with fire, but words shall suffice. Recall, mortals, that it was I who did first summon my beloved, praying with all my being to bring him forth. You who contend with icons cannot well be ignorant of the consequence.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Indeed. Ask the Dragon Slayer, and he will tell thee the power we of the First Brood wield. Were I to lose myself to the Icon's influence, all would pay the price. But it is of little matter, for even had I the strength to resist, I yet lack the strength to break my shackles. This prison shall be my tomb.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
What? Speakest thou in earnest?
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute.
Is this
Stormblood
Stormblood music?
Remorse, you may yet make amends.
It is.
We offer you that chance.
This is Stormblood
You will
2.
forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
A chance to make amends. To lay Bahamut's memory to rest. When our own star faced annihilation, Hydaelyn granted us sanctuary, and now your foes would bring about her destruction. This I cannot allow, for the debt I owe to Hydaelyn, and to all who have suffered from my sins, I shall fight with you, children of man. Ye. Alright, Graha, you got a way to get her out of there? I confess my heart was in my throat when Estinien thought to berate her, but it appears to have had the desired effect. I won't make up for what she suffered at the hands of men, but if there's a chance we can free her, truly free her, we owe it to her to try. It would seem she still has some pride after all. Let's see if she's good as her word. While Porxies have been shown to be effective in curing tempered, Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find that the process had failed, it would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find the information here? Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Alligans kept detailed records of all their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. We shall leave that to you, then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of those shackles. I know Alphino and Allah here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Rest assured, Sir Estinien, I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all of her sorrows, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I am to make me take the first steps towards a brighter future, and now I would help Tiamat do the same. I gather you are not as young as you look. Heh. Mayhap when our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tataru's famous tea. And be indebted to her for leaves of hot water. I think not. I see him returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. Ah, yes, we are familiar with it. The Aether-Chemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this, a spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Why do you just have this on hand? Which you just happen to be carrying around with you. I suppose that could seem rather odd. To explain, Rambros, Urianger, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels and transfer not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines. And so I keep one at the ready should an opportunity to test my other theories arise. As for its use to you, you may recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as being of royal blood. And armed with that spirit vessel, I posit that they will do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try, at least. Agreed. We will take good care of it. To the flagship, then. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a more likely candidate, do not attempt to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is simply to identify the relevant node or nodes. Once we have learned what we can, we should reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. Friction between metallic components detected. Temperature increasing to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. Data link with Delta Quadrant broken. Possible cause, intruder interference. Advise deployment of automated combat units. Proceed? Warning. Scheduled Dragon restraint maintenance due in 2020 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. Maybe if we can just set the PS5 timer, the node timer to 0, that'll work out. I'm afraid Estinien and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? Did a node which smelled like burned hair? Yes, a chirping node which spontaneously warned me like collecting the dragon restraints. I have found a way to activate mechanical sentries, if that's any help. Spontaneously, you say? Well, that does sound promising, almost suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it is indeed the node in which Graha spoke. And it's chirping, you say? Very well, let us take a closer look. But do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? You do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of the dragon restraint mechanisms may only be undertaken by a chief technologist and members of the royal family. Or those with a spirit vessel full of royal blood, perhaps. It's like a tiny Grahatia in your pocket. Is that a tiny Grahatia in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? New user detected. Commencing biometric authentication. Authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. Congrats, Alphino. But that's just confusing. Amusing as you may find my name, I must ask that you use Alamorn, please. Bloop, bloop. Username changed. Welcome, Alamorn. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Error. Unable to disengage restraints of specimen Tiamat. A system update is required. Oh god. A system update? What do you suppose it's asking us? I could hazard a guess. Smash it to pieces? Well, that's more than I can say. Confounded bloody thing. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish link to said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. This issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. So can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it's received the requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float there spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating application protocols. I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you throughout every step of the system update process. How gratifying. But I dare say we will fare better with guidance than without it. Why does my phone keep saying it keeps needing updates? I downloaded it once, why do I have to do it again? Sid and his colleagues always make operating these Allagan devices seem so easy. I don't know what possessed the Allagans to surround themselves with these chattering orbs, but the fact that they remain while their creators do not speak volumes. Let's see. According to the terminal, the central control system is presently employing software version 56.135. Dare I ask which version you are employing? Why, software version 42.002, of course. Warning, errors detected in data management system. Estimated time required for update, 5 years, 1 day. And that's Windows Update for you. That is rather longer than we are hoping. Aren't there any other options, for instance, using the terminal to operate Tiamat's restraints instead? The proposed method is indeed an option. Please be warned, however, that procedure may have changed as a result of the system update, and my instructions may longer be accurate. Well, I can't imagine it will have changed all that much, as long as we pay due attention to any discrepancies. I dare say we shall be able to muddle our way through. Don't bother trying to explain. Just tell me if we've made any progress. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do Estinien's voice anymore. Ugh. Did I turn off the fan this time? Yeah, okay, good. I would say so. It does, however, require that I remain here to operate the terminal. I shall inform you via Link Pro once I'm ready to release the shackles. It might be best if you left the spirit vessel with me. I may yet have use for it. Rest assured, I will be certain to return it to Grahatia once this is over. Just a little more work and Tiamat will be free. But before we go any further, there's something I would know. When Tiamat and her kin fought against the Allagan Empire, both sides were but dancing to the tune of the Asyans. And it was the same in Ishgard, where they stoked the fires of conflict between men and dragon from the shadows. All that the Asyans touch turns to ash, and thus have you made it your mission to fight them. But there have been many times we tried to reach out to them instead, to find common ground. And so I must ask, what do you intend to do with Fandaniel? Will you try and reach out to him too? Let me know I want to understand him. I will try, yes. If it fails, I'll remember him. Certainly. Shall I wipe that smile off his face? I will try, and if that fails, I'll remember him. It's a little point in reasoning with the wretch, or remembering him for that matter. But perhaps that's the difference between you and me. You see the good in people, even if it's but the faintest glimmer. I only hope you do not come to rue your benevolence. You think us unwise for viewing the world thus? That has ever been your way, as I learned when we journeyed together with Azys Lla. Yet the fact remains that there are some who view companion weakness to be exploited, and there may come time when you extend the hand of friendship, only to wish you had dealt a killing blow. So save your mercy for those who deserve it. Well, we should be getting back to our task. If Alphino has things in hand here, I suggest we rejoin the others. If this Fandaniel truly is without reason or creed, he is no better than a rabid dog. Treat with him if you must, but be ready to do what is necessary. Estinien told me all is well, but nothing more. Honestly, it's like getting blood out of a stone with him. I take it from Alphino's absence that he's needed elsewhere. Well, that sounds rather frustrating. But you got there in the end. While you were off talking to nodes, Gaha and I were learning as much as we could about Tiamat's condition. Our readings confirm that her ethereal balance leans strongly towards the umbral, as was the case with the kobolds. Therefore, all other things being equal, the treatment should work. The difficulty lies in the sheer quantity of ether with which we must contend. Multiple applications of the treatment will inevitably be required if we were to reverse the effects of the tempering completely. Meaning I'll need all the aether I can get. Thank you in advance. Although this endeavor will ask much of us, we do have one reason to be optimistic. Namely that Tiamat shows no signs of fanatical devotion, suggesting a milder case of tempering than that suffered by the kobolds. Tiamat saw Bahamut as an equal rather than a god. Might have made the difference. Now that you mention it, it very well might. She would not have believed it necessary to defer to his will. But enough talk. It's time to put her to the proof. Tell Alphino to disengage the restraints. The restraints, ethereal dampers. I'm counting on you, Angelo. such warmth. The frost that shroudeth my soul doth begin to thaw. But what are these? Visions of days long forgotten, of war with men and Alec. Wherefore do such baleful memories return to me now? Could it be that the process of restoring her soul to its pre-tempered state is awakening ancient memories? Or might the opposite be true? If so, by helping her recall the past, we may be able to speed her recovery. Oh, she trusts you. Speak to her. Ask her to tell you of the times past. Go on to the Asians. Tell me of Bahamut and the Asians. Ah, Bahamut, my beloved. Would that peace we found in Mericidia could have lasted for eternity. But alas, it was not to be. The Asians saw to that. In all creation, I know of none more wicked. It was at their behest that the men of Alec first came upon Mericidia, unto our home. The tale began when Bahamut and our father's side. We took wing in search of a place to make our eyrie. Beyond the southern ocean, we discovered a lush and fertile land. It would come to be known as Mericidia by the children of men, though many years were to pass before they crossed the seas. Look at the tiny babies. Upon our arrival, we were welcomed by the peaceful people of the forest, kin to the trees, surrounded by nature's bounty. Bahamut and I had found a place to raise our young. Fascinating. This correlates with the writings of Sharlayan scholar Rarusha. She posits that man first settled on the southern continent towards the end of the Second Astral Era. Correctly, it would appear. If only she were with us to hear the tale from Maud herself. Again, Angelo. When first the children of man arrived on our shores, no foot did they set in those places over which we held dominion. Such was their fear of dragonkind. And as they kept their distance, so did we let them be. Yet as the days went by, ship after ship appeared upon the horizon, bearing ever more of their brethren, who divided the vast land amongst themselves. For a time, they knew peace and prosperity, but as their numbers grew, the smaller their share came to seem. And soon they began to covet the territory for their fellows. Ere long man fought man, blood was answered with blood, and none could see the end to the strife, until one day they came to us. Recognizing our wisdom, they entreated us to intercede in their conflicts. Bahamut agreed, and with him, presiding over the affairs of men, the land knew peace once more. Alas, those golden days of harmony, too, were fated to end, for the men of Alec slew my beloved, and I, in my rage and sorrow, heeded the envenomed words of the Asians. The rest thou knowest only too well. But your tale doesn't have to end there. When you are free, we'll rid the world of the Asians together, and you and your beloved will have justice. I want to take a break, Azys. Fine sentiments, but you're almost spent. I'll keep watch from above. If the treatment fails, run. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I swear when this is over. Keep going, Azys. The magic is working. Slowly but surely, the magic is working. Aided memories you bade her share. Well, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. No patient could have prepared me for treating a great worm. But we're close. I can feel it. And while I've only got a few more drops of ether left to give, with yours and Graha's, this will work. Then I believe I speak for both of us when I say that you may take as much as you require. Careful. I might hold you to that. Alright. Here we go. Everyone raise your hands. Let out your energy.
No! I'm almost there!
Don't worry, I have some to spare.
This is it, Angelo!
Pew. Yes, I feel it. The icon's grip groweth weak.
Did it work?
We won't know for certain until the shackles are removed.
Everyone hold on to something. Alright, Alpha, now you're up. Where'd the rings go? Answer me this, children of man. Can my kindred be saved in like manner?
Many have been subjected to the Allagan's dark arts, their flesh irrevocably altered. For such tortured souls, I fear there can be no salvation.
My children. Should you hearken to my call, we shall fly together once more. But should you not, I shall grant you peace. Better to die than live as a tool of evil. You too would wish of this, I know. And I shall do as I must.
When that time comes, you won't be alone. We'll stand by you.
Thou hast my gratitude, little one.
Alphino's ready. It's time. Do it. And let's hope the treatment worked as it should.
My beloved. For vengeance and atonement, I rise. Sweet catharsis. New dog definitely takes after his mother.
Urianger, your timing could not be better. Understood, we're on our way. It's Bahamut. He's been sighted over Paglth'an.
Oh boy.
He flies for the largest Amalja settlement in the region, at the head of a vast host, including dragons.
It's go time.
Did you hear all that, Alphino? You'd best rejoin your comrades. I'll make my own way. Our enemy awaits. Shall we?
I was about to say, is you just gonna jump there out of sheer force of will? I'll be fine. Plenty of time to recover on the airship. While I'm sure you're desperate to join Estinien and Tiamat in battle, it would be wiser to gather the full strength of the Scions first. The foe we face demands no less. I've already sent word to the others. We are to rendezvous at Ul'dah, at the Hall of Flames. Let us collect Alphino and be on our way. If you're worried about me, don't be. I've got some rest during the flight, and now I feel ready for anything. First the spate of abductions, and now an attack on the Amalja homeland. What to do with the Telephoroi? What do the Telephoroi aim to achieve with all of this? As I am sure you recall, Arenveld and Fordola were bound for Paglth'an. I pray they have not come to any harm. By happy coincidence, Kryl and I were able to we're in the process of concluding our inquiries when news reached us of Lunar Bahamut's return. There is much to discuss, but it will have to wait. Of the foe we face, we know but little. Though time be of the essence, we must not stint in our preparations, lest our haste to fly to the aid of the Amalja cost us but our best chance of victory. Now, I know some of you could do with a rest, but I'm sorry to say the Telephoroi have other plans. Paglth'an is already under siege. Happily, the Immortal Flames arrived just in time to join the defensive effort, with Marshal Terrapin at their head. Well now, given the failure of the peace negotiations, I was uncertain how the Sultanate would respond. It is good to hear that Ul'dah has not abandoned the Amalja. Abandoned them? Did we not profess to be their friends? Your Grace. Marshal Terrapin had made provisions for such exigency? I've never seen that word before. And was ready to depart at a moment's notice. All that was required, agreement of the Syndicate. each of whom voted in favor of the intervention. Nor is Zilda alone in its resolve. The Alliance nations have likewise dispatched their troops to Paglth'an. Man, this really is Stormblood too. Yet even with our combined strength, we shall be sorely tested. For we face not only the might of the Imperial Legion, but Lunar Bahamut and his draconic horde besides. Tiamat's children. Fight as we may, victory is by no means assured, but not all of the omens are grim. Our forces report that despite their proximity to Lunar Bahamut, none of the Amaja show any signs of tempering. Strange. What primal would turn down a chance to claim new thralls? Unless it is incapable of doing so. Primals are not wont to serve a master, Ascians or otherwise. It may well be that Lunar Bahamut differs in some fundamental manner from those who are previously encountered. If that were true, anyone could fight him, and Lla and the others like him wouldn't have to shoulder the burden alone. Be that as that may, Lunar Bahamut remains an incalculably powerful foe, whom our soldiers were struggled to best through mere force of arms. With the aid of the Scions, however, I believe they will fare rather better, assuming, that is, you are ready to take to the field. An airship awaits to bear you to the front. Pray set forth as soon as you are able. I, meanwhile, shall continue to coordinate our forces. Till next we meet, may the 12 bless and keep you. It was kind of her to speak with us personally. You may be certain she has no shortage of responsibilities. Well, I for one am inclined to do as Her Grace requests, lest we forget Arnveld and Fordola are in Paglth'an on reconnaissance. The sooner we save the day, the better their chances. Indeed. To the airship, then. Paglth'an now accessible. It's been a while since I played Dark Knight, in any capacity. Well, the backup's here already. Ascian vermin, you shall torment my children no longer. Listen to the music. Ooh, go soak and go. Alright, boys and girls. This really is like the Hero's Gauntlet. We must have faith in Arnveld and Fordola. Alright, Alphino. Oh, that's a big boy. Alright. First one's down. Every patch so it gives us a little gift. Oh wait, I should probably see if I can go further. This can't be... yeah, I could. Oh well, there's no rush. As long as I don't lose aggro anywhere. We're doing it. We're doing it. I don't think I've been hitting this guy over here at all. Oh, man. There we go. Oh, look at the kobold go. Thanks, man. First boss. Lightning Cat. Huluk. Good work as always. Kobolds have proven to be staunch allies indeed. It's fast, but not fast enough. Alright. Crippling rope. That's probably a tank buster. Didn't do much. Hi. Oh, okay. I did that on accident. Was that straight in front? Or was that room wide? Thunder Call? That one's big. Alright, I think. No, that's room wide. Okay. Yeah. In death, may you find peace you were denied in life. Oh, fancy homage in chests. How appropriate. Well, a sash of healing. Well, that's not going to be around for much longer.
What took you so
Is that the Azure Dragoon? Hey, there he
The
is.
Amounts are in trouble. Let's split up.
Hi, Tiamat. Let's fucking go. Hey, Amaric, boy, what's up? I'm glad I bought a couple pieces of gear before I started recording. Alright, onward. Oh, look at all the dragons.
Oh, no, you don't.
Get it, Estinien? Yeah, I'm just gonna keep you lot right here. Oh, that certainly helps. Well, we're not going that way. Holy shit. This is so fucking awesome. I never realized she was green. You leave my boy alone. Thanks, Tiamat. See something in the distance there. What do we have here? Lend us your aid. Alright, this is a boss? Some sort of note up there. Oh. Well, that sounds dangerous. I think I'm gonna have to keep my eye on that thing. Are they not doing a whole lot of damage to me? Doesn't seem like it. Oh, hi. Ugh, more flashbacks of the missiles. They move so slowly and menacingly. Ooh. I see. It's like Oogie Boogie. Azay, if you want, you can use that LB anytime. Okay, they're doing a little bit more damage now. Oh! Yeah, I forgot to look out for that. I think you really need to save all your DPS for when you're up there. Kill it! Yeah, woo! We did it! Circlet of aiming. Let's take a look at that. Not my style. Oh, hello. The Gilded Sea. Ooh, look at this. I don't think we're going anywhere further than this. Alright. I will call unto my children. Shall bear thee too. Okay, let's go. Whee! Oh, this is awesome. We've arrived. Let's get it. Oh, those armored turtle things. Oh, hi. Ooh, a lot of button presses, a lot of button presses. A lot of moving. Getting scary. Whew. I had to use everything I had, but we did it. Teletherium Lunar Bahamut. This is the theme they're going to give Lunar Bahamut? Huh. Get him! Oof. I was about to say, at least give us the normal boss music. Alright. Here we go. You're a bit smaller than the last time I saw you. Alright. Twisted Scream. Oh. Purging Breath. Thanks, Ray. Akmorn! God, I'm coming! Mega Flare. Hello. Bastard. I'm gonna follow them. Okay. You picked an ill opportunity to do that. Making me waste that blood weapon. Ill opportune for me. A cross-section Akmorn? What the fuck? Twisted Scream. What was that? I didn't see. These things again. Oh, that's going to be hard to keep track of in Pugs. Lunar Flare. He doesn't seem to have a tank buster. You really just have to stand on the edge of it like that? You're making me scared. Oh, there was a random tank buster. Woo! Is he gone? I expected more. Getting all these trophies at the same time is ridiculous. Good job, guys. Now, as is tradition... Oh, right, they changed up the emotes a little bit. As long as things are changed and moved around. Pet the boy. Pet little sister and brother. Okay. What do you got for me, chest? Bottoms of maiming. Shorts with tats. Non-dyeable. 505, not bad. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, that was fun. Children of man, the shade of my beloved is no more, and I shall forever be in your debt. By your deeds are we set free, and free we shall remain, as long as I draw breath. Never again shall the dragons of Mericidia hearken to the lies of the Asians. This I vow. Bye.
Noble warriors, the dragons chose their friends well. Long have our peoples waged war, but no more. Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice.
Let us put the past behind us.
The enemy of our enemy is our friend.
He kind of sounds
And
like
you have
Raban.
proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Garleans who are deserving of our fury.
I wonder if they went up to him and was like, hey, can you do a voice for this monster man? Sure, I can do it.
I shall see that my brethren learn the truth of this day, and rally as many as possible to the cause, till we meet again.
Goodbye.
And thus did we make allies of the Amalja.
It would certainly seem that way. The Sultana will be pleased. Let's go and give her the good news, shall we?
This place is really pretty. Sometime earlier inside Paglth'an Tower. Oh no. What is that? Crystallized Omajan? A lot of them. It's just like coils all over again. They're being preserved just to like
his name happened here.
sustain summoning, isn't it?
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
Quickly! We've got to get them free!
I think it's too late, man. They're alive in some capacity.
No! What have I done?
It's too late for them! We're leaving, now!
That can't be good. Oh. Oh. Okay.
No! No! Don't you dare! We came together and we're leaving together!
Handfold. Well, it would be too much to hope that we have seen the last of Fandaniel. We have dealt his schemes a telling blow this day, and that alone is cause to celebrate. Oh. And celebrate I will, When we have received word of Erenvald's safe return. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh. Alright, Alphino. I'm here for you. When the dust settles, Alphino is minded to share his account of the events that unfolded at Paglth'an with the Sultana. Standing around here worrying is not going to help matters. Come, we must discuss the day's events with Pippin and her grace. Brave Scions! Would that I could treat you to a hero's welcome, but I bear urgent news from the frontistry? Your grace, whatever is the matter? Our troops withdrew from Paglth'an. They came upon 2 scouts sent to the nearby tower. I have yet to hear a full account, but it seems that one of them, your friend, I believe, had been wounded and is being dragged away by the other. Oh, no. Oh, no. I must go. Forgive me, your grace. Can you tell us aught of Erenvald's condition, your grace, the wounded scout? Not save that it is grave. The chirurgeons tend to him even as we speak. The infirmary must be inundated with the wounded. If all of us go, we'll only get underfoot. All Estinien, would you mind going after Alphino? He may need some support from someone other than me. Very well. Thank you. The rest of us will see that the relevant people know what took place in Paglth'an. Come on, then. Please, tell me something, anything. Instead of standing there gawping, why don't you tell your friend to stop whining like an undeaf dog? People are fighting for their lives in there. Well, we see she's got great bedside manner. Another one come to see the lad in silver armor. Master Demelot is attending to him as we speak. If you would be so kind as to wait. What did Master Delamot say? Tell me his exact words. Let the chirurgeons do their work. But you're right, forgive me. When we said our farewells to Erenvald, I was afraid that something like this might happen. But now that it has, all I can do is wait.
Fordola, have you been waiting here all this time?
We have done what we can. The rest is up to him.
May we see him?
I do not think that wise. You must let him sleep.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know. Perhaps I could have...
Could have what? Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light. People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most. If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
His heart's not weak. I can tell you that much.
It may be that victory cannot be won without cost. But all life is precious, and I refuse to shrug at its loss.
All life is precious! Oh, you need to grow up, little man. Before your sparkling ideals get everyone killed.
You're right. He is idealistic. But the world has more than its fair share of realists, like you and me. It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better, and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
Look at Estinien being a big brother.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you lot'll be next. And what'll become of your precious dreams then? They'll be gone. Like dust on the wind.
Dreams worth fighting for don't die so easily.
Are you still over here? You are. That woman. She plays at scorn, but her eyes are filled with sorrow. Sorrow deep down enough to drown in. I know. There is nothing more I can do here. Come, let us rejoin the others. Her Grace invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to join her in the fragrant chamber. Your comrades have already arrived. Will the three of you be joining them? We will.
Your Grace, pray forgive us our lateness.
Think not of that. I understand a close comrade of yours was wounded in the line of duty. Arenvold. It was at the Alliance's behest that he risked all, and we are grieved to hear of his condition. Rest assured, he will receive the finest care our chirurgeons can provide. On that you have my word. Now, we would share with you the findings of the mission. Pippin, pray relate to our guests the details of Fordola's account.
First Bahamut, now Ifrit. Or Lunar Ifrit, as Fandaniel would doubtless have it.
'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within. Less certain is the means by which the Telophoroi constrain the wills of said entities to enact their designs in defiance of the pleas of their victims.
Mayhap they do not. If mere proximity to the towers is enough to make loyal servants of the Empire's mortal enemies, it stands to reason that the same is true for those held captive. They invoke their gods for the good of Garlemald, and in their disturbed state of mind, summon a primal whose form reflects their own alteration.
It all begins to make sense. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the towers bear a striking resemblance to a much larger structure which Urianger and I observed from afar during our visit to the Imperial capital. Assuming it too is capable of tempering those in its immediate vicinity, it would go some way to explain the swiftness with which the Telophoroi managed to rally so many Imperials to their cause.
Are they gonna use the Imperial Palace to frickin' do what they did to the Almaja and fucking summon Zodiark with it?
While the situation in Garlemald is indeed troubling, I fear we have more immediate concerns. Ifrit was not the only primal summoned. At approximately the same time, observers at several other towers bore witness to the emergence of further such entities.
Hold on a second. I know I saw Lunar Odin in the trailer. Odin's a strange primal. First of all, the primal itself is a sword, but I don't think Odin has any devout followers. So who's going into the tower to summon Odin?
For a blessing, none appear to wield aught approaching the destructive power of Bahamut, and the Grand Companies are moving to deal with the threat even as we speak.
Tell me where, Grace. You need only tell me where they are, Your Grace.
Though we are aware that the task will not be easy, we would call upon the Scions only as a last resort. Pray, conserve your strength for now.
Until the end of May.
After all, it was not so very long ago that you rid us of Bahamut. On which note, I am pleased to report that our talks with the Amalja have reached an agreeable conclusion. They have pledged their full support to our cause. It is our hope that this historic agreement will encourage other tribes to join us at the negotiating table. And I know that I speak for all of the Allied leaders when I say that we will welcome them with open arms at such time as they do. Of course, this was only made possible by the feats of heroism performed at Paglth'an. Moreover, we shall not allow the sacrifices of those fallen in battle to have been made in vain. As hope leads to victory, shall victory lead to a new dawn for Eorzea.
May these words ever be our guide, Your Grace.
Now, if you will forgive me, I must consult with the Syndicate on the matter of our new allies' integration. Till next we meet, my friends, I bid you safe travels and blessed respite.
Boy. Though we have won our first battle against the Telephoroi, and made significant discoveries to boot, the war has scarcely begun. We must steel ourselves for what lies ahead. Right then, unless anyone has any objections, I think it's about time we return to the Rising Stones. That includes you, Alphino. Arnvald is in good hands here. Of course. You would doubtless mock me for pacing about the infirmary. Let us retire then, that we might regain our strength and rest for the coming challenges. If all are in agreement then, I shall let Carl know to expect us. Hot bath and a hearty meal shouldn't be beyond arranging with the time available. It will be good to be home. I have some thinking to do. Yes, I'll try asking him. And thank you. Look forward to it. Our comrades eagerly await our return, and Kryle, in particular, has a few matters she is keen to discuss, one of which concerns you, Estinien, believe it or not. You will join us, won't you? Everyone looks at him. Fine. Really? I thought you said you were avoiding the Baltisian woman. If I refused, she would only pursue me. I think we know the real reason here. He realizes he still needs to continue to be a big brother to Alphino for a little bit longer. Let us get this over with, shall we? So, I think it's pretty obvious the main reason why Alize didn't go with us and Estinien after Alphino is she has no idea how to console and comfort Alphino. Affection is not her strong suit. And I think, honestly, that kind of bugs her at this point. She knows she should, but she doesn't know where to begin. Cutscenes.
Welcome back. I expect you must all be exhausted. Ere you take your rest, however, I would beg a moment of your time.
Is this what you and Y'shtola were working on?
Thanks to Arnvold's selfless efforts, we may now be confident that we understand the function of the towers. But many questions remain regarding the reason for the summonings, and what lurks behind the looming edifice in Garlemald. Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the Telephoroi's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
Ho ho ho!
'Tis possible the ancient knowledge preserved within our archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
I think that all but confirms we're going to Sharlayan.
Oh, I well remember what they're like. The Forum's barefaced refusal to assist you in the days prior to the calamity must rank as Sharlayan's most shameful act since the Exodus. But were the final days to be reenacted, it would spell doom for us all. Surely even they cannot turn a blind eye to that. I trust we are all of the same mind on this matter. Urgent as it seemed, I took the liberty of petitioning the Alliance for leave to act as Eorzea's emissary, and have since received their blessing.
I presume your role as a student of Baldesion will carry some weight with the Forum?
One can but hope. If truth be told, our organization has been a shadow of its former self ever since the disappearance of the Isle of Val. But the name does still retain some degree of prestige. I only pray it will be enough. If there are no objections, I shall depart for Sharlayan at once. But before I do, I should also mention the other matter to which I would devote some time during my stay. After hearing what transpired in the first, I began to question the true nature of Hydaelyn's blessing. A topic I have discussed at some length with Y'shtola.
Yeah?
We were wondering, when was the last time Hydaelyn spoke to you directly?
Oh, it has been a minute, huh? That day in the Crystarium. Were they talking to me directly then? I want to say in earnest it was near the end of the Dragon Song War.
When you regained her blessing, was it not? But never since. Not in all your time in the First, when you faced the Unsundered, the very heart of Zodiark.
History shows us that Hydaelyn is able to awaken the echo in her chosen, convey her will directly, and grant the blessing of light. To our knowledge, however, she has not sought to intervene in man's affairs for some considerable time.
Might not the explanation for that lie with her choice of champion? Mayhap she is content to trust in his judgment.
Mayhap she is. But following my initial discussion with Kryl, I made inquiries of my own, and as far as I am able to tell, Hydaelyn has not made her will known to anyone.
During my time in the First, the Oracle of Light spoke to me through Reen. But that was not the will of Hydaelyn. It was Minfilia herself.
Indeed. And while she and Hydaelyn were inextricably linked, Minfilia yet acted of her own volition. A messenger, yes, but one who spoke with her own voice.
I wonder, could Hydaelyn's silence suggest the presence of some disruptive force, perhaps? Some obstacle to communication? While I share Urianger's high opinion of your conduct, I see no reason why she would deny you her guidance altogether. Then again, who am I to say? The fact is, we simply don't know. But if the explanation is to be found anywhere, I can think of worse places to look than the archives of Sharlayan, and their research on the Ethereal Sea in particular. Resolved though I am to go, believe me when I say that I take no pleasure in the thought of leaving you a member short. Now, of all times. Estinien, we stand on the eve of a struggle that will decide the fate of this star. One in which we Scions may play a telling part, yet we are but few in number. And so I must ask you again. Will you join us?
You see the world the way you want it to be. I see the world the way it is. You are idealistic to a fault. But I know you would never turn your back on those in need. Never close your eyes to their suffering. And somehow, your deeds lend truth to your words, giving the lie to my doubts in so doing. I have seen others draw strength from your belief. In Ishgard, in Alamigo. You inspired them to stand up and fight. To win, no less. And even when you lost those you held dear, you carried their spirit with you and made their memory your guiding light. The burden of so many hopes and dreams would be too heavy for most to bear. But you bear it willingly, as you have shown me. Some dreams are too important to let go. If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Thank you, Estinien. Whatever challenges await us, I shall not falter. You have my word.
And now, I may bid you farewell. Safe in the knowledge that all is as it should be. In this little corner of the world, at least.
You will be sorely missed. Tread warily in Sharlayan, and do try not to let the Forum embroil you in their politics. A forlorn hope, I know, given the individuals involved.
I shall do my very best. Farewell.
Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace.
Well, does this one meet with your approval? Apparently not. Or could it be that you're still upset about the dragons?
You are unwise to remind me of so costly a failure. It will not affect our plans, I trust.
Oh, hardly at all. Though, admittedly, the chances of us being able to procure any more Mericidian dragons are rather slimmer following Tiamat's reappearance. Oh, but the seeds have been sown, my lord! We have only to wait for them to quicken! Speaking of preparations, is it safe to assume that you will be ready to control you-know-what?
The hour draws nigh. This nation, forged for Ascian ends, will finally prove its worth.
A mighty empire, now no more than an instrument of this star's destruction. What a pleasure it will be to put it to use. Which brings me back to our earlier topic. My lord, while I appreciate that it is not an easy decision, it really is past time you chose your weapon.
There is one that I have been meaning to test.
Show me a scythe.
Well, well, not quite what I was expecting. Though I will say, it does seem rather apt.
Are they going to show it? Of course not. Of course not. They've already told us about Sharlayan. They're not going to show us Xenos' weapon. Amidst all the fighting, it's easy to forget what we've achieved, isn't it? I mean, we cured Tiamat. Tiamat, for heaven's sake. You will tell me if I become insufferably smug, won't you? Because the way things are going, it feels like a definite possibility. None can deny that Hydaelyn's blessing has been a great boon to our cause, but much remains unknown with regard to her true intentions. Given everything we have learned from our encounters with the Ascians, we must keep our minds open to any and all possibilities. The sudden appearance of the towers will surely not have escaped the Forum's notice. I would like to think they would be receptive to Cryal's request for cooperation in investigating the matter, but unfortunately, their reputation would suggest otherwise. It sounds like we're just gonna have to go over there. It strikes me as odd that rather than marching on one of the city-states, the Telephoroi have so far made only sporadic attacks. I doubt they'd go to the trouble of putting up all those towers if that was all they had in store for us. Though we know not the full extent of the Telephoroi's scheme, preventing further abductions must take precedence above all else, for therein lieth the key to depriving our enemy of its most potent weapon. If you need of my lance, I'll be ready. If not, I will be reserving my strength in preparation for the next battle. But since you're here, I have a question. The Scions are in close contact with East Aldenar Trading Company of Kugana, yes? I was wondering if they could place an order for some sun-dried squid. I don't seem to be able to find it in these parts. What an odd request. If I am to pursue this course, I must be prepared for the hardships that lie ahead. Well, it looks like I'm going to have a busy few moons. Not that ever seemed to be anything but. Thancred's got me dispatching troops to every corner of the realm, which is not to say I don't trust the Alliance, because I do, but when it comes to putting down primals, nobody does it better than us. Well, then you lot, more accurately. You won't catch me trading blows with a primal in the near future. But every fell fiend you vanquish, there's countless meals to arrange, baths to fill, sheets to wash, stores to replenish, and the list goes on. Which is where I come in, and gladly, mind you. It's not the least I can do to support the Scions who risk life and limb. Take poor Arenvald. I wish there was something we could do for him. But we'll have to settle for saying the odd prayer and keeping a roof over our heads. It would do to have him come back and complete shambles. It wouldn't do for back to complete shambles. Now would it? But that's enough of my rambling. Off you go to get some rest. If there are any developments, I promise you'll be the first to know. Not for naught. To be continued. Did that come with a title? I think it's all that but confirmed that Xenos will be the new job. Oh, there's a lot of these. Secret Finder. Doesn't appear to be that way. Virtuous Deeds. Fallen Star. To the Star. Histories. Secret Finder. Hello? Wow, I guess everyone's just gonna chill right here in this spot until the end of May. Oh, at least it wasn't too much of a cliffhanger. But it seems like there's definitely a lot that happened in that trailer that we haven't seen yet, so oh boy, what an event that should be. Still feeling nervous. Impossible to not be. Either way, I thank you guys for spending some time with me and watching. Be sure to be on the lookout for Jess and Kevin and I taking on the Near Rays as well as Diamond Weapon. Team Wayfinder back at it again. Be over on twitch.tv/Alamorn. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more, because more is coming. I'll see you guys later.